Previously, the group headed back to their guest house after dinner with the Emperor. Adria showed Nova how to properly set up a bubble bath. Bertrand unknowingly flirted with one of the guards while getting permission to climb up onto the roof to play music. Said playing of music turned into an impromptu concert for the entire neighborhood, with Nova eventually joining him. Ren and Kess had a talk about the Emperor's opinions on clerics and druids, and Kess told him that they might not like it, but they at least understood that for a lot of people, all they had ever known were stories that the arcane was better. How could people think otherwise if they'd never been taught anything else? They then offered to do a tarot reading for Ren, which led to them drawing the Ace of Feathers and telling him to seize the day. Ren then went to find Adria to ask similar questions, and she told him there was a reason her village was so isolated. Ren then changed the discussion to them sleeping together at the festival. She'd said that she didn't want anything serious, but he wanted to know just what it was that she did want. Adria was fine with them hanging out and being fuck buddies. She didn't want to make any big announcement or anything like that to the group, though. He then headed out to climb up on the roof to join Bertrand and Nova. He moved off to the side to give them some privacy, along with 60 to 70 other people watching the performance. After a little bit, he felt a cold breeze that didn't quite fit the climate. He heard a voice in his ear, one that he knew nobody else could hear, and his father told him to learn what he could while in the capital. Isaac took a bath of his own before starting a letter to his sister. Bertrand and Nova had a talk, and Bertrand explained that for the almost 5 years he was August, he hadn't played music. There had been a number of reasons for it, but part of it was that he hadn't felt as if he deserved it. Nova apologized for avoiding Bertrand since everything had gone down at Thalia. It had been a lot, and he wasn't quite certain what to think about anything. Bertrand told him he hadn't been the only one doing some avoiding. He'd been trying to give Nova time and space. Nova was worried that something would happen to make him forget Bertrand, too. If he could forget Thalia, it could happen again, and that scared him. Bertrand pointed out that he'd been a kid back then, one who was alone and who'd been betrayed by the people who were supposed to protect him. Nova wasn't alone anymore. There were people in the group who could literally bring people back from the dead. Why couldn't they restore memories too? Worst case scenario, if Nova lost his memories, then they would just have to relearn each other again. Bertrand got it. He'd been actively trying to be happier since leaving the Isles, and sometimes it was hard. He wanted to take the easy road from time to time, and he had to actively fight against it. Both of them decided that they wanted to at least try. Bertrand asked if Nova would let him kiss him, and he agreed. The next morning, they woke up to a delivery of breakfast foods and a note from Fran saying he'd be there by mid-morning. When he arrived, the group took him into Nova's cottage, where he proceeded to spill the tea on all the potential allies and enemies who would be at the ball. Officially, no one from our spec was invited to the ball, but there was always a good chance that someone would show up, or, if not, that they would be watching. It came up that the group would be expected to dance, which led to some panic as only a few of them knew how to do so. Bertrand asked if there was any chance of someone trying to attack the Emperor at the ball, as things had a tendency to happen around them, and Fran said there was always a chance. He also explained that one of the people he told them about, a potential ally named Claudette, who he considered a friend, had a younger brother who had disappeared years earlier. Fran was almost certain it was because of the hunt, and that was why he was willing to make a stand when the time came. And that is where we left off.